Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello, welcome back. I am messing with some new recording software. Sorry, and it is messing me up badly. Welcome back, Skyrim Addict Podcast, episode 124. So, quickly, show announcement thing. Yes, again, we are doing the Philly Podfest in July 15th to be exact, or was it 16th? July 16th, sorry. That is Sunday. At 5 p.m., Tattooed Moms on South Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States. If you would like to come up, send me an email. I've already had an inquiry, and so hopefully we can have a little get-together, stuff like that, if you plan on being there. So definitely let us know. Had the time be myself, Pat, and Victor so far. We'll be doing Skyrim, Fallout, and whatever else. It's only an hour, so... I'm pretty sure we can fill that up with whatever, since it'll be odd because it'll be in a live setting. So that's very different. Never really done that before. So we'll see how that goes. So this episode, I'm going to get into some feedback. If I don't completely mess up the recording, we'll see how it goes. I figure I'd test this out while I'm by myself. Because I had a bit of an issue with GarageBand on the last episode, which thankfully I did on Facebook Live and was able to just take the audio from there with the guys from Character Crusade. That would have been bad. So that's why I always have that nice backup live recording, thankfully, to save me from myself. But yeah, we're going to get into some feedback from Todd. He's got a couple pieces, so we'll be going through that. And other than that, I've just been kind of going through my Dark Brotherhood questline stuff for Let's Play. Mostly just still rolling with the double daggers. Getting more and more into that. Now I'm getting to the point where I can sneak and just come right up behind and throat slit whoever I'm against. I don't know if that's random or if like you hit it with certain timing it happens, but I've been usually pretty good. I find if I'm moving slightly towards the person and do it at the same time, that's when it happens. I don't notice it as much if I'm like sitting still behind them in a sneak mode. I don't quite notice it then, but yeah, no, I enjoyed that play style. That was kind of one of my original. Well, archery obviously was my original play style since that's the best, or the easiest, I should say. But I do love the double daggers. It makes me like plan out and think. I try not to use the bow too much unless I'm in a situation where I really can't even get to a person because of where they're at. So there is that. That comes up every so often in certain quests. But I'm getting a little deeper in that quest line. I'm the listener now. I have stuffed myself in the Night Mother's coffin and been creeped out by Cicero. And then been creeped out by the Night Mother. So I'm kind of in the middle of that. I'm waiting for Astrid to tell me if I should go meet Armand Motier down in Volenrud, I believe. So that's kind of where I'm sitting with my gameplay right now. That's the only character I have going at the moment is my Dark Brotherhood one. I'm playing that one on the Xbox One. I haven't broken up. I got to get my PC one going again and redo the mods and all. Since on my Legacy edition, and just see what's going on over there. I have to get that set up again. Connor's been playing a little bit, but the last time he played it, the wagon ride to Helgen was incredibly bumpy, and like the wheels were flying off the cart, and I don't know what was going on. Some kind of issue, but I think I'm just gonna wipe it clean, start over. None of the saves I have on on there that I don't really care about any of those. So I'd like to start fresh and start from the beginning and build a new character on there. So I'll have to go through the tutorials and stuff because it's been a while since I set all that stuff up. Or I'll ask Victor. That'll help too. But let me get into some of the feedback here. They're both audio pieces, so I'll be coming in and out of those. Let's see. All right. Here is the first one. Here we go.
Hello, fellow Skyrim Addicts. My name is Todd, and I'm sending this feedback in because I've been really excited lately about my latest playthrough, and I've really wanted to share it with other people that would probably enjoy hearing about it as much as I've enjoyed playing it. My latest character is a female Redguard named Kiana. I posted a little snippet in the Facebook group about it, and it's a no loot build. I was poking around the internet a little bit. Tamriel Vault. I have a small addiction to constantly reading new builds on there, and a couple of other places around the web, and something about it really struck me as interesting. The idea of going around and not really picking anything up and kind of limiting yourself in that way was really intriguing. The build in question is called the Arrowsworn, and the idea is basically of a monk who hunts the undead, uses only a bow and arrow, and a little bit of magic, restoration, alteration. It's been very challenging so far. I've really only leveled up to level 11. Just hit 11 last night, as a matter of fact, right before I went to bed for the night. And it's been a very entertaining and fascinating playthrough. You essentially have to start by going through Helgen, because the idea is that you can only use items that are given to you, that you craft, or that you purchase. There are a couple of exceptions to the rule. You can pick up skill books, but you always put them back. You don't actually pick them up and sell them or keep them. The same goes for spell tomes. You can pick up spell tomes that you find, but that's it. You can check bodies and retrieve arrows that you shot at them, which actually gives the ranger perk in the archer tree, I think it's ranger, the benefit of actually being useful for retrieving arrows. It's been incredibly fun from the start. The reason you have to start by going through Helgen is because at the end, where the bear's at, and you have to sneak by the bear, Hadvar or Ralof will give you a long bow and some arrows, and so that's really your first weapon in the game.
Yeah, so I've never used Tamriel Vault, but I actually should. I don't know why it's a tool I've never used. That's an excellent idea. You can go through there and under their character building discussions. I mean, you can click on Archer. It'll be a bunch of different ones: Juggernaut, Knight, Barbarian, Monk, etc., etc. Necromancer, Spellsword. I mean, there's probably 50 right there on that list. Then you can go by the race tags: Altmer, Argonian, Bosmer, Breton, Dunmer, obviously. And they have different character building events and a character building contest. So you can go through here and find, there's a no crafting character, unarmored and unarmed, werewolf, vampire, hero, villain, mods. I mean, so if you're looking to build a character, I mean, obviously there's always our character generator on asapodcasting.com under Skyrim, but you're looking for specific rules and things like that. And I really like this style where he's like not looting, anybody, and other than arrows, which technically he's just taking his tools back. I would look at it in that way. And even the books, like not even looting the books, just using them for what is needed and moving on. So it's a very cool, interesting character style to build. I really like that. So yeah, if you're looking for different different play styles like that to shake up your game. Definitely looks like Tamriel Vault is the place to go for that.
So you get on a Helgen, and you have nothing but the longbow and about 12 iron arrows. And although actually doing this, I discovered that the part with the cages, where Hadvar tells you to lockpick stuff, Hadvar actually gives you 13 lockpicks. So you'll get to start with at least 13 lockpicks too. From there, go ahead and go to Riverwood. I went with Hadvar. You could go with Ralof, I suppose. I went with Hadvar to make friends with the blacksmith Alvor. Now, this is the other thing that kind of makes it interesting. When you're playing through the game normally and you make friends with people and then they let you kind of go through their house and grab stuff, you're kind of like, well, I don't really need any of that stuff, right? Because all the stuff that they'll offer, or that you can go through and grab, besides maybe like coin pouches and stuff like that, you're just like, I can get better loot off of enemies. But in this case, it's actually interesting. If you make friends, they'll let you grab equipment and stuff. And just from my initial start in Riverwood, I noticed that you could actually pick up armor and get everything but a chest piece, as a matter of fact. I ended up making friends with Fandel, although in all honesty that was me gaming the system a little bit to get my hands on a hunting bow instead of just a longbow. Make friends with Fandel, and he's got a hunting bow in his house. So the idea is that if they don't actually give it to you or they don't offer it to you, you can't take it. Your character essentially would have a vow of poverty. It's made for some very interesting character development and interactions and things like that.
The playstyle seems to definitely lend itself to making more friends, which is nice because like he was saying, a lot of times you meet people, they're like, oh, here, I'll give you all my stuff, and all their stuff is stuff you essentially do not need. So these relationships become more valuable. So it certainly makes interacting with townspeople and doing some of those smaller quests to befriend them and get things from them makes that more worth your time. Something that's worth doing, and that's probably a good thing because it's so easy to gloss over the little quests or help the girl with Lucia with the flowers. Is Lucia has flowers or Sophia? I forget. I think it's Sophie. But anyway, even those little things like that, or help the kid who's being harassed in Whiterun there by the little girl, or like he said, a blacksmith or whoever, run the gear for Adrienne there in Whiterun. Those little quests like that become more valuable because then people become your friends, and then you can actually get stuff from them, or do the quest for the alchemy shops where you can generally take a bunch of stuff out of there. Just be careful because you can't take everything legally anyway. So that stuff becomes much more valuable with this build, which is interesting. It really adds a lot to the gameplay for sure.
Since you're essentially playing a good guy, you end up getting and making quite a few friends. So the funniest thing was there in Riverwood when I made friends with Fandel. Went to his house and I was checking around, and in every container in Fandel's house there was a little girl's dress. And so it kind of made me look at Fandel and be like, I think you may have an issue, buddy. But perhaps one of the neatest things was when I went to Whiterun and made friends with Uthgerd by having a brawl with her. She had hooded brown robes, and then she had brown robes. And so that was kind of neat. It's kind of fun to be able to switch back and forth between some brown robes and hooded brown robes to make it look like my character's raising and lowering her hoods. And that's kind of entertaining. Uthgerd helped me through Bleak Falls Barrow, which honestly, considering the fact that I only had a hunting bow and some iron arrows that I had finally spent some money on and stuff, that it would have been challenging, I think, on my own, even sneaking and stuff. It would have been a little rough. Normally, I don't play archers. I tend to play melee-focused characters. I don't play archers. I don't tend to play mages much. So this has been an interesting play style that's a little bit different. I'm actually already considering my next character, which is something I have a bad habit of doing, playing for just so long and then starting a completely different one. But I'm thinking about doing this poverty thing again, but this time making the friends in Riverwood and grabbing armor and doing that. Now, with smithing, I don't tend to make many things beyond arrows. The no loading idea. In the build on the vault, the build's author recommends not mining ore. I haven't yet because I haven't been able to get a pickaxe. I actually managed to buy one last night from a blacksmith in Windhelm. But I think the only reason I'm going to mine ore is that I will mine ore and then turn around and sell the ore to the people in the towns that will buy said ore to generate gold rather than doing a whole lot. Because the idea is to make the money a little more scarce. With that in mind, I installed some mods. I play on Xbox One, so I installed a few mods that would make things a little more difficult money-wise. Expensive inns and carriages will make things a little more challenging as far as money goes. And then I also downloaded a mod that requires you to have tools to do any crafting. So you have to purchase the tools to actually be able to do any blacksmithing. You have to have a blacksmith's hammer, a dagger or something to do skinning, which is another small conceit just for leveling purposes. I will actually loot animals, but I will only take meat and skins. Sometimes you find animals that they'll have a gem on them or something like that. I try to role play the character properly. So, there's been a few instances where, like, a character will give you something and, tell you here, you should have this or whatnot. For example, I did Hilgrin's Tomb, which is the one where you have to go in and kill the necromancer for the fellow named Goldear. And oddly enough, I had never actually done that before this character. But because this character is an undead hunter, and when I stumbled upon Hilgrin's Tomb this time around, being directed there by a guard, it just, it felt right. So I did it. And at the end, Goldear will give you a key to the family chest. So I checked out the chest and figured that, he was offering me something. But I didn't take everything from the chest, only one item, which was, there happened to be a flawless garnet in it. So I would take that and use it to buy some money and have an actual nice stay at an inn in Windhelm. So as long as you can justify it without going overboard. Because I also installed a needs mod, so this way I would have to worry about purchasing food and stuff. So even when you make friends with somebody, I would recommend not going in and cleaning out their house just for the gold. Just go in and, you take what you need or what you could use. Excuse me. So, you keep it balanced that way. There's only been one instance where I had over 1,000 gold in my pocket, and I had to turn around and buy a bunch of arrows because there wasn't enough ore available to make very many, and so I had to actually kind of run around and purchase enough arrows to get through.
Yeah, that certainly is a massive change to the economy and makes, actually makes gold valuable. Because you get to that point pretty quickly where gold is kind of meaningless. You get so much stuff. You're looting so much stuff. You can sell so much stuff. You can pretty much buy anything you want. The stuff you can craft is usually better than what you can buy anyway. And so I end up, the economy as it is, I end up buying soul gems and then filling them instead of searching for them, buying all alchemy ingredients, buying all smithing ingredients, just smithing stuff and selling it back. So the economy does kind of break at some point. So this seems like a good way to balance that out and make it more reasonable, like you're actually living and trying to survive while you're going through this journey of either becoming Dragonborn or, whatever your character happens to be doing, of course. And, so that seems like a cool way to really balance out the money issue in the game, for sure.
You'll find yourself actually running out of arrows during the boss fight, Hilgrin's Tomb. I didn't realize it, but apparently I ran out of steel arrows. And so it swapped me back to the iron arrows. So I would recommend keeping plenty of extra arrows, even of differing types. When you do smithing, the only thing so far that I have really worried about making is I will make some leather stuff if I have leather, and fletching your own arrows. Obviously, you can upgrade your weapons and stuff, but there are different ways you could do this. I'm seeing just now, and I'm going to keep playing this character to maybe see if there are other ways to do it, because as you progress through the game, I think maybe as more of a melee focused character or something, there's even more ways to maintain a vow of poverty and still get decent equipment. For instance, you could join the Legion. I know when you join the Imperial Legion, they'll give you armor, give you stuff that way. You can join the Stormcloaks and they'll give you gear. You can. I plan on doing the Mage's Quest line with this character more than likely, so you'll end up gaining things from that, and so it'll be very interesting. It's definitely a different way to play, and I would highly recommend someone out there try it. And you don't necessarily have to do what I'm doing, but sorry if you heard that. There was one reason to do it with the bow and arrow is to keep yourself in. Have to worry about that ammunition and using money and stuff to pay for the ammunition. And if you can use mods that will increase the prices of stuff and kind of amp that up, I would recommend doing that as well, because it's really made for a very interesting playthrough. My character, she just wears robes, some simple boots. I try to use alteration spells for defensive purposes. I'm not really sure what else I can get into with it, but I do appreciate everybody listening. I've been excited to kind of share this experience with everyone. I would highly recommend, trying it if it's something you haven't tried before. It really, and the temptation to just run through and pick everything up is just insane. I still find myself checking chests and doing stuff like that, and it's just like it's hard to not pick everything up and kind of force yourself into that, that role play experience. But I couldn't recommend it anymore. It's a very different way to play, and if you've never tried something like that, because as you play through Skyrim, you still get particular about things you'll pick up. I've heard you guys talk about, and it actually got me doing it, was the weight to gold ratio, the 10-to-1 sort of ratio and stuff. And it's like playing through in this way, you find yourself just wanting to grab things and do this and that, but it's a very sort of focused and different way to play that's made the game not only challenging, and I wouldn't recommend it playing it on incredibly high difficulties, because you will just get yourself slaughtered. I think if I wasn't running around with Lydia, I probably would have gotten frustrated and quit by now, but because there has been many a times where Lydia and my heal other spell has kept me from just getting outright slaughtered. Uh, but it's almost reinvigorated the game just a little bit for me, even though I didn't really need the game to be reinvigorated with the game, because it's a game that I absolutely love. Because of just the innumerable amount of stories that are there that can be told, and I wish I had better skills as far as making videos or doing something on YouTube would be concerned. But well, I think I'll end it there. I might record some more updates with my character, maybe get a little bit better and a little less nervous. I know it's kind of a silly thing to be a little nervous about this recording, but it's there. But I want to really thank Michael for the podcast. Since I found it, a few months ago, it's been a joy to listen to everybody. I want to thank you guys for the roundtables. Those have been vastly entertaining, and like I said, I'll try to come back with another maybe little character update on this and let you know how the whole thing is going if you're interested. And thank you guys. Just thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Todd. That was awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to actually do myself a Tamriel Vault build. I like that whole concept. Actually, I like the one, maybe not specifically that one, but I like the no looting idea as a way to go through the game and change it. And just make it a little different. Like you said, kind of reinvigorate it. But that's the beauty of it. It's just so wide open to do any kind of play style or any type of anything that you want, that you can do it, whether it's with mods or without mods. I mean, I played on 360 for the longest time and did a ton of different types of play, whether it was a character who could only use the iron gear and iron weapons, actually only iron daggers. Kind of limited him to that, and went through I think I went through Dragonborn and everything with that. So I don't know. I went pretty far with that. That character was pretty high leveled. And then Connor kind of took it over and put real gear on him. But I thought it was good. Like his smithing skill, he couldn't do any better than that. That was as good as he could go. So I kind of limited him there. But I like this, where you actually need the people in the game more, the populations of the game become more essential to you, and you need to rely on them for gear or for money, or like if you're using a needs mod for food even, and you can't just go buy whatever you want, especially like with the needs mods where you have to get food. It's so easy to just buy food because it's so cheap, or loot it, but if you have to rely on not stealing it and getting it from a friend or a friend's house, or buying it from a shop, obviously, or hunting it, or gathering it, I would assume. So there is that. But yeah, I really like that aspect of it. I do have another one from Todd. I'm going to save that one for next time. I want to actually try and see if we can schedule an episode where the whole gang gets together. It's been a little while since we did that. This was kind of a quick American holiday weekend episode, so I'm going to keep it a little shorter here. And then maybe, I don't know, I'll have to see when everybody's free, and we'll see if we can get a schedule together, do a big group one again. I enjoy doing those. But that's been episode 124 of Skyrim Addict Podcast. Remember, you enjoy the shows. You can review them on iTunes and all that. Don't forget, we have Game Talk with Jeremy. We have the Fallout feed, which is doing the roundtable right now. My journey with cystic fibrosis. The Chatterbox. Probably won't be back for a couple more weeks. Traveling and such. What the hell else? Oh, Let's Play Skyrim. Yeah, if you haven't heard it, Let's Play Skyrim. Right now I'm going through the Dark Brotherhood, but we have them broken down by quest. So if you want to listen to a specific quest, it's listed as, the Companions, Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Dark Brotherhood, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Main quest, etc. So you can go through those, and you'll be able to find specific quest line you would like, and listen to those. I believe this is the fifth one. I think it was main quest, mages, bards, companions, and Dark Brotherhood, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I think that's how it was. I'm going a little slower with Dark Brotherhood, admittedly, than in the past. I should be picking it up again here soon. Just been little busy, so I haven't been able to record them as quickly. Other than that, I think that's all I got. So remember, July 16th is the live event. If you happen to be interested in going, shoot me an email, or there's also a post in the Facebook group pinned to the top for that. So, and we've been doing, or I've been doing these as live events on the Facebook group. Not this one, but the last two prior to that. So if you want to, if you're in the Facebook group, keep an eye out for those. When the live events pop up, that's usually me recording a show. Going to try and use those more often. It's nice to have the backup audio. So, all right, that's all I got. Later, everyone.